Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy new year. This is my first video of 2025. Very excited for this year. I think we're gonna have some fantastic videos, some fantastic reads. New year, new reading goal, and I thought I would close out all the books I read last year by tier ranking them. So I read in total 70 books and I will be tier ranking every book I read, different tiers. And honestly, I realized when I was tier ranking that they do not match up my ratings on Goodreads. I think I'm definitely gonna have to go through my rating on Goodreads and just like redo everything, because like some 4 stars ended up in completely different tiers. I was like, okay, these are my true feelings about all the books I read. Some might be controversial, we'll see. But yeah, I've always thought this was like a cool concept and I wanted to do it to close out my first year on YouTube and my first year reading so many books. I had the goal of reading 52 books, 1 book a week. I ended up achieving that and actually overachieving by reading 70 books. I do think I could have read more. There was a lot of months I had book slumps, but I'm still happy about reaching the goal. And this year there's 100 books to read, so yeah, follow me or subscribe to the channel if you want to see some of the books I'm going to be reading this year. There's going to be a lot of reading vlogs, a lot of things, so yeah. Okay, let's get on with the video, and yes. My hiccups left, so let's get to ranking because I have 70 books to go through. Okay, so here are the categories. We've got No Words, which are the best of the best, like the best books I read this year. Some of, like, they're going to be introduced to my best books of life. Just like best, so such good books. My Babies, they're not the best, but they're my babies. Like, I love them. I would recommend them. I would reread them. I love them. Okay. And then Yas, it's self-explanatory, like yes, you know. And then well yes, because this one's just like, you know what, yeah, like why not. And the second to last one is it's more like an like you know. And then the last one is Girl. What the fuck? It's like, girl, like, are you serious? Like, did you actually read that? It's like, okay, the worst of the worst. Not the worst of the worst, but the worst books I read. Okay, let's get to it. Here are all the books. I've got them all here. You can take a good look. I put them in order that I read them. So, the first book is James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room, which is my favorite book of the year, probably my favorite book ever. So it's obviously going to No Words. This is the only book I read in January, I think, or maybe I also read The Little Prince in January. Anyways, I love this book and it actually inspired me to read all of James Baldwin's books this coming year, so we'll see how good I do with that. Next, The Little Prince. Now, this is controversial, I know, but I read this for like a school assignment and I didn't like it. And I've actually read it many times because I'm French, and so it was like one of those like childhood stories that my mom read to us, and I never liked it. I never liked The Little Prince. I always had beef with him. He always aggravated me. I never liked this book. I never liked it. And yeah. And I feel like this is a book that people low-key lie about liking. Like, it's like the book that everyone lies because it like makes them sound like an intellectual to like this book. But like, if you like The Little Prince, tell me why, because like he's just an annoying little rascal. And like, okay, there's like certain like life lessons, but they're like simple life lessons. Like, it's not that like, it's not out of this world, you know. So this one's going in because it's not a well yes, it's like a you know. It's yeah. Okay, The Song of Achilles. This one, here's the thing, I liked it, but I could have liked it more, you know. Like, I did like Patroclus and Achilles, but I don't know. Let's go yes, because it's not my baby, but like it's a really good book. Okay, Educated, I'm saying well yes, because the content of this book is so weird. It's so crazy, but it's kind of worth reading. Like, it's probably the only memoir I read this year, and it's not, well, was it a fun time? It was kind of fun time because it was kind of crazy, but like, yeah. Okay, Jones on the 6th. This is like No Words. Like, You might be like, okay, can this actually compare to Giovanni's Room? And the answer is like probably not, but it's such a good book in my opinion. Like I loved it so much, and it actually got me out of like a year-long book slump. Like I hardly read anything in 2023, and this got me moving. Like this, I read this all in one sitting on the plane. I was crying, messed up my makeup, but it's just like it got the ball rolling. I started reading after finishing this book. I was in the momentum, and I loved the book. Honestly, I loved it, and I refuse to watch the show just because they changed some things from the book, and I refuse to see that happen. On the Way to the Wedding, this, which is a crazy statement to say because it's still not a great book, is probably the best Bridgerton book, which is crazy because it's not that good. So I'm gonna go, which, right? It's an and it's the best Bridgerton books. That's how you know the series is just not it. I did not like this one. So, okay. This is the last Bridgerton book. It's The Littlest Brother. Okay. The female love interest, right? She is the best friend of the girl that the male love interest has a crush on half the book, right? And then he gets rejected by that girl, so he basically is like, okay, second best, right? Which, yes, they do love each other once they're married and once they're together, and that's cute, but like the fact that they would have never even got married if he hadn't been obsessively in love with the best friend is just weird. Like I wouldn't like to be my husband's second choice with my best friend. Like, and then they popped out like 9 kids. Do you see how my like curls are falling? It always drives me insane whenever it does this. Okay, About Last Night. It's also an It's also an just because like this. Honestly, I don't even remember much about this one except that it's just satisfied the sports romance urge. But other than that, I think they played soccer. You see, like I don't even remember. And I remember what happened in all the other books except this one. Like these sports romances, they're really like in one eye out the other, you know? Okay, The Bodyguard. I'm gonna say well, yes. Like, well, yes, because it was cute. Like, and then there's a little twist at the end that was really, it's not funny. It's actually not funny. Like, it was kind of deadly, but like no one actually died. Just like, it's okay. But it was a good book. I remember reading this when I was bored at a museum. Not all of it, but okay. Emily Henry, Happy Place. Took me about a week to read this because it's not a yes. It's a well, yes. It's a well, yes, because, well, I don't know. Because here's the thing. It took me a week because it's kind of boring, not gonna lie. But it's a second chance romance, and I do like second chance romances. But it's kind of forgettable. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I do remember what happens. But I don't remember it the same way I remember, like, Nina and Matthias from Six of Crows, you know? So, it's a well, yes. 7 Days in June, y'all. 7 Days in June. No words. No words. My favorite romance book of all time. Read this book right now if you haven't. So good. Okay, The Husky and His White Cat Shizun is gonna be the first in my babies. Just, well, I don't know, because as you notice here, there's 5 of The Husky and His White Cat Shizun. I was also meant to read 6 because it came out in December, but I didn't read it. But now I'm not sure because undoubtedly my favorite one so far is number 5, this one right here. But number 1 is when I'm like introduced to the story. But like 1 in the series is like never the best. Like I feel like, you know, because you're like introduced to it. Okay, I'm gonna put 1 in Yas. I'm gonna put 2 in well, yes. 3 in Yas. 4 in well, yes. And then we have to take a break for The Divine Rival. duology. But I think because 2 and 4 are kind of like in the middle. Like 5 is when the confession happens, and I quite literally was reacting like, my babies, you know, so that's why it deserves the my baby spot. 3, I remember it being one of my favorites, I'm pretty sure. And then 2 and 4 kind of mesh in. I think I liked 4 though. I was the best one. Okay, Divine Rivals. I feel like maybe like my ranking is a little bit skewed right now. Because wouldn't that mean like Well Yes is like 3 stars? But these weren't really 3 stars. Like Happy Place, I'm pretty sure I ranked like 4. Okay, we're gonna have to stick with it. Divine Rivals, I don't know, Yas? Okay, I'll put Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows in Yas, just because like I like them. Like I liked. And then the 5th one in My Babies, because they're my babies. I love them. Okay, Just for the Summer. The time that I read it, I really liked it, and I do like it now, but it's like, it's forgettable. Like, do I think about it on a weekly basis, even a monthly basis? No. It's going in the Well Yes category because you might be confused, but honestly, then I started thinking about how like I found a lot of the side characters really annoying, so it's a Well Yes. And then Gwen and Art are Not in Love, also a Well Yes, because yeah. To be fair, it's like it's lower than Abby Jimenez, but it's not an What is an is him. Him actually might even deserve the first spot in Girl WTF, because this is another sports romance that I honestly like. I'm pretty sure they're playing hockey. To Each His Own, Well Yes, because this one is like kind of crazy, and it like honestly took me 5 hours to read a book that's like, I don't know, I think it's under 200 pages, but it like, I think about it, like I thought about this in the shower the other day, and because it's just like, it's so odd, and like the ending is just like so funny because it makes the entire plot of the book pointless. It's actually a really fun, well, not a fun book, it's just like, I don't know, it's funny. It was funny to me, okay? There is incest in this book though, so stay clear. So From the Woods, this one's an just because like I know this might be controversial, but basically nothing happens since it's like a mini novella thing, and also the age gap is like 400 years old, and it's just like, it's just kind of weird. So I did read this in a 24-hour readathon when it was like 4 a.m. But okay, Breaking Character, it also is also only in the Well Yes category, just because like they don't get it together until the 80 mark, which is fine. But the problem is that like one of the love interests, this is sapphic by the way, one of the girls doesn't like even figure out that she likes the other girl until 80% in, and then like 81% they're together. So like it needed better, not movement, but you know, like the structure was kind of off. But the main character was the main female character, I mean sapphic, so both, but like the really nice one, the one that didn't take 80% of the book to figure out her feelings, she was really cute though, which makes me think that like the grumpy one did not deserve her. Anyways, Dear Martin is a yes, because this is a really good book, and I recommend any teen to read it. Okay, Bride. Now, this might be controversial, but like Bride low-key deserves the Well Yes. Well, actually no, I disagree with myself. Bride is getting an just because I just had a thought. I had a thought about that disgusting main male character, and I hated him. Hated that bitch. I hated him. He was so bad. He was just like, he actually made Misery miserable. That's such a funny name. I like remember in my reading vlog of that, I was giggling constantly because I'm pretty sure most of them had like normal names, and then she's just here with like Misery. Like, imagine being named Misery. Like, why would they do that to her? 7 Year Slip, I'm gonna put it in Yas, because it is better than the other romance books I read, just because the main male character is low-key one of the loves of my lives. Of my life. He's one of the loves of my life. He was so fine. But I honestly don't believe that like the main female character deserved him. Like, I think I deserved him. Because she was just kind of like, to be fair, she was dealing with grief. So, I mean, I can't fault her for the decisions she made while in grief. But she was kind of boring. Like, if you think about female love interests, like, she was kind of boring. Separate in the Wings of Night, this might be controversial, but it's getting a My Babies. And why I'm saying it might be controversial is that you'll notice that it's literally on top of the Song of Achilles. But it's because I really liked the main male character, and I also liked her. So if I like both of the main characters, I end up typically liking the book, you know? But Song of Achilles was just like, I feel like they could have done a little more with it. Like, I feel like Madeline Miller could have done a little more. Divine Rivals, they were cute, but I feel like they're also kind of bland. 7 Year Slip, like, yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of the female main character. So I think The Serpent and the Wings of Night does deserve a My Baby spot. Same with Love Song for Ricky Wilds. This is my baby. Like, so good. I love Tia Williams. Like, do you see? She got a no words spot and a My Baby spot. Like, she's that good. She's that good. LA for Aunties is, well, it's My Babies. Even though this is a very difficult one because I ended up rating it a 5-star, right? But it gives more like Yas vibes than My Baby. But compared to the books in this section, let's leave it at My Babies. This one's just really funny. Like, everything happens in this book and you cannot anticipate the next thing happening. Like, it's just like you're bamboozled every time you turn the page. It's actually a really funny book. I hope this finds you well. I don't even know if this one deserves a well yes. I rated it a 4-star, but now that I'm thinking of it, one, I don't remember all that much about it, but what I do remember is that it was a really annoying, like, everyone in the book was really annoying, so they're getting an and now I'm like rethinking, I'm probably gonna have to go through all my Goodreads books and re-edit all of the stars, because there's no way this got a 4 and then The Little Prince got like a 2 and it's in the same category. That's just not okay. But I'm like, I am feeling this category. Like, I feel like I rank these well, but I must have just not ranked them well when I was ranking them on Goodreads. Villains Are Destined to Die. My baby, my baby, my baby. This book is so good. 2 and 3 are getting Yas, which is still really good, because 5 and 6, I had to check my Goodreads rating for Villains Are Destined to Die. So I think I'm comfortable putting 1 here, 2 and 3 here. For Evocation, it's not It's not It's My Baby. I love Evocation. I can't wait for book 2, y'all. I just found out the other day book 2 is coming out in 2025, and I'm gonna be jumping for joy when that book comes out. I'm obsessed with this book. It's also polyamorous, and it's like, it makes so much sense. I would have actually been mad if it wasn't polyamorous, you know, because like they all make sense. Okay, Self-Made Boys, I guess, well, yes, because it was kind of cute, but it was not all that, you know. I think it was so predictable, and it was like too similar to The Great Gatsby. Like, I get that it's a Great Gatsby remix, but I thought it needed a little pizzazz, you know. Okay, The Happy Couple, this is where my ratings don't make any sense, but The Happy Couple is getting My Babies because I think about this book on a weekly basis. I think about this book constantly, and now this is where it gets confusing. My Babies, or The Happy Couples, is in My Babies, but I hope this finds you well is in and I rated both of them 4 stars. This is when it like all shit hits the fan. Is that the saying? I don't know. It's when everything gets really freaking confusing. So I'm definitely gonna have to go back to Goodreads and edit all of that. But The Happy Couple, I think about the book constantly. I love the book. It's so good. Even though Callisto is in this 4th one, it's getting it's getting a yes because I saw that 5 and 6 are the ones that I adored. So yeah, and 7's coming out soon actually. I'm like debating if I want to actually like purchase, like, because I read these on the library, so I'm debating if I want to actually purchase them for myself. I want to purchase a copy for myself or not, but we'll have to see. The Shadows Between Us, it's getting a well yes because it got me out of a reading slump. Also, there's nothing in Girl WTF yet, but we'll see. So yeah, The Shadows Between Us deserves this because it got me out of a reading slump. It was kind of fun, you know, all that. Okay. A Sign of Affection 1 and 2, it's like it's an I really, this manga series, which it makes no sense that I continued it, but I did not like this series at all. Like, someone tell me if it's normal that manga series like just follow the romance and there's nothing else, because I'm so bored if I'm just reading a book about a girl just having a crush on a guy. Like, boring, yawning. No. The Naturals, I'll give it a yes. Naturals, Killer Instincts, yes. This is like a YA Criminal Minds vibe. Six Scorched Roses, also yes, because they're really cute together. Or actually a well yes. No, like it deserves a yes because I actually like the couple and I remember more of the book. Like, I was more attached to it, and it's a novella compared to the other romance books in the well yes. This face is what I make when I see this horrendous book. Sorry, I'm so sorry to the author. I don't know if it's a debut book or not, but I'm so sorry, but this book is just not good. Okay, I actually have to rant about this book for a little bit. I ranted in a vlog. I will put it somewhere up here, but I have to do another rant because this book, right? Okay, so they're in Rome. The guy, he's like, he actually does nothing. There's actually no reason for him to be famous, but he's dating this pop star, right? He meets this random girl. She's the daughter of like an ambassador, I'm pretty sure. So random, right? They meet, they hang out, blah blah blah. He's still dating the pop star, right? The pop star finds out that he's basically hanging out with this girl and they have like a fake dating thing going on. Rightfully so. I would be pissed off if my boyfriend is in a foreign country with a dating rumor with this random girl while he's dating me, you know, right? The boyfriend plays it off as like, oh my god, but it's good that there's a dating rumor because then no one's gonna like think that like we're dating. Okay, right? But he's literally emotionally cheating on the girl the entire time. And then the main female character has the nerve to get mad at the girlfriend for getting mad at the dynamic. Like, the side piece had the nerve to act like a victim. And then he was just like, he was a piece of shit. I hated him. Like, I hate him. This book. What's crazy is that it was an anticipated summer release. And it was a letdown. It was a complete and utter letdown. All In also deserves a yes because it was also good. The Sign of Affection, once again, everything's going in because The Sign of Affection was just not it. And then The Poppy War is going in my babies because I do have a couple criticisms about the book, and like the book's in no words. I have no criticisms, but I do have a couple criticisms about The Poppy War. Namely, I think it was too inspired by China or Chinese history because like it's a fantasy book, right? But it basically just felt like paraphrased Chinese history with like magic. And like, yes, the countries are like inspired by China, inspired by Japan and all that, but they're not China. Like, they're not China or Japan, you know? So if she had made like in China there had been these fantasy aspects, that would have been fine, but it's not meant to be China. Like, it's meant to be inspired by China, but they're completely made up countries. But I thought it was just way too similar that like I really enjoy history and I was just like thinking about these countries the entire time, so it kind of like didn't allow me to get fully into the fantasy world because to me I was just imagining a modern day country, you know? So yeah. Emilia Parks, it's an or a what, or not what the fuck, an and a well yes, because it's getting an I'm sorry, y'all. I did end up rating it 3.5, which I do feel is like kind of a good rating. But like now that I'm thinking about it, like hated BJ, Magnolia was kind of annoying, all the side characters were kind of annoying. Nothing was really going on in the story. Also, I have beef with the author because apparently, this is a warning, a spoiler. Apparently in future books in the series, she like kills off characters. And I feel like the some books might need to be brought down to girl, what the fuck, you know? Once Upon a Broken Heart, my baby. No, it's not getting a my baby yet, but it's getting a yes. Out on a limb, no. No. I cannot stand that book. Same with When He Was Wicked, made a whole shorts about it. It didn't go viral, but it got quite a few views, which was very surprising to me. Yeah, I did not like either of these books. Wolfsong, it's getting an Let me explain to you. It's because of the horrendous age gap. You want to know what this age gap is? Okay, let me explain the age gap. So the main it's MLM. So one of the main male characters or love interests, he meets the other one when he's 10 and the other one's 16, right? Ox is 16, Joe is 10. Joe, the 10-year-old, is like, oh my god, you're my mate, to a 16-year-old. He's 12. Joe is 12 and Ox is a whopping 18. Ox starts dating people because he's 18. And this 12-year-old is jealous. Like, he's genuinely, like, he gets jealous. He wants to, like, fucking fight these girls. Like, you're 12. When Joe is 17 and Ox is a whopping 23, they start dating. 17 and 23, what is the point of this? Like, can you have you could have made it 19 and something, you know? You have to make a 6-year age gap. And you chose 17. You chose 17 and 23. Is that not weird? And also the fact that they knew each other when he was 10 and 16 and already had a fat ass crush on the 16-year-old as a 10-year-old. All combinations of this age gap is horrible. And then there's the alpha and the omega and the blah 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 and the blues, and I was like, okay, we need to tone this down. Olivia, Dorothy Strachey is no words. I loved this book. I adored it. And more than a best friend, well, yes, but nothing more, because this book made me root for a straight couple instead of a sapphic couple. Do you know, this book had me reading the ending for a straight couple when it's a sapphic romance. That's all I've got to say, and you should get that. Bad Blood is my baby's because it's the last book of the series, and we closed it out. That's perfect. It was perfect. 12 is a novella, so well, yes, you know, it's kind of boring. When Among Crows, my baby. Like, I don't even care. I love this book. Also, book 2 is coming out in 2025. Cannot wait. Love this book. It is Polish folklore inspired, and it was fantastic. Ballad of Never After is also a yes. And then A Curse for True Love is when they finally get together, so it's a my babies, because once they're together, they're my babies. Such Lovely Skin, yes. This is like a YA horror, so it wasn't that scary, but for me, who literally can't stand gore and horror and all that, it was the perfect amount of horror and mystery for me, and I really liked it. And it's by a debut author, and I think she wrote the teenage characters really well, and it didn't feel like, you know, cringy. So I like the book. I recommend you reading it. And then God of Fury. God of Fury gets an because it's like, it had me kind of wanting to keep reading them. How to Summon a Fairy Godmother, my baby. I loved this book. It was really, really, really good, and I really recommend. Also a debut novel, and I need to get my hands on a physical copy because I read an ARC and it was really good. I literally can't speak anymore. Okay, The Darkness Outside Us, so good. It's no words, like so incredibly amazing. I'm in awe of the quality of this book. It's queer, but they're sent in a spacecraft. They're given like a mission, but we find out later on more things about the mission, more secrets. It gets really creepy. Like, it gets creepy in space, so double creepy. But they're falling in love. They're like getting together. It's amazing. It's so good. I definitely recommend. And there's a sequel that came out this year, 2024, and I'll definitely be reading that in 2025. I can't wait. Raven Song, which is book 2 of Following Wolfsong, and it's definitely better than Wolfsong. So it's getting a well, yes, just because it was following like the uncles, basically, of the people. Not really the uncles. I don't know, it's just following other characters in the series, but they're like older, so it's like a romance. It's a second chance romance between like 40-year-olds, and I always love when the couples are a little older, because it's like they understand life, they understand their feelings. I mean, they didn't really understand their feelings, but typically, you know, it's a little more deep and grounded, so I like it. R.R. Martin, some of you guys might get offended, but it's getting an because the amount of willpower it took for me to keep reading this book when all I wanted to do was just put it down and never read about a Targaryen again. Yeah. Lastly, The Foxhole Court, which is getting a yes because it was really good installment. I definitely think book 2 and 3 might reach my babies for next year, because I didn't manage to read them this year. I actually have book 2 and 3 actually downloaded on this right now, so. But I think this is the final thing. But let's actually edit the because I feel like, I don't know, like The Little Prince could get an or a girl. What the fuck? You know, like, okay, which one of these did I not like? Let's go, him is a girl, WTF. Bride, not horrible. I feel like this kind of makes sense. The only one that I'm not sure is like The Little Prince and then On the Way to the Wedding. Like, both of those could kind of be girl WTF, because like, you know, not really it. But I definitely think On the Way to the Wedding is a step up from when he was Wicked, so I think this list makes sense. Okay, I think I'm happy with the list. This is the full list with everything there. No words, we've got these 5, which are the best of the best, and then Girl WTF, which are the worst of the worst, which, to be fair, having more great books than bad books is always a win in my books. So I think the majority of these books that I read, I did really love this year. Very colorful. Let me know if you read any of these books and you agree with the ratings, or if you would change it up a little bit, or some books that you read and you recommend me putting on my 2025 TBR because they were your no words. But yeah, I think this is my list. I'm very excited for what I'm gonna read this upcoming year. I think I'm gonna read some bangers. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and consider subscribing so you guys can officially be with me in my 2025 YouTube journey. I love you guys as always. I'll see you soon. Bye.